Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are on episode 3 of Married at First Sight, season 12. Let's get into it. Y'all already know what to do, so I'm not going to go through everything that I always go through because I got something to say. Okay, listen to me, Lifetime. Okay, y'all are getting on my nerves with these 2-hour episodes that are leading up to absolutely nothing. Let's get to it, okay? You keep putting the good stuff at the last 5 minutes of the episode, and I'm sleepy, okay? I'm gonna get the people what they want because I got something to say and I love talking to my people. But the fact of the matter is, I'm gonna need the foolishness in the first 5 minutes of next week's episode, okay? Let's get to it. Let's get to them acting a fool in the first 5 minutes of the episode so that I'm hooked and then we can get this party going. All right, let's get into it. All right, in the opening scene, you see Chris and Paige. Of course, we remember last week that Paige was on her way out, honey, and she feels like God has purposefully put her in this place, that everything that is happening is her life coming full circle, that her steps are ordered. So she's ready. Okay, she's like, you know what? I got this infinity necklace and I got an infinity tattoo. So, of course, this means that this is the man that God has for me. So, let's go. So she's in the back, and of course we've already seen that his family is like, oh my gosh, I hope she's not ugly, so everyone's waiting with bated breath, and the family's out there like, will she be Shrek or will she be cute? Will she be ugly? Will he want her? And I'm like, first of all, I don't like the position that they've put her in. Stop making it so much about her looks. It's okay to mention the looks. Like, okay, Brianna wanted Vincent to be attractive. He wanted her to be attractive. That was like 2 seconds of their dialogue, okay? They said, I want this person to be attractive and seen. Not all day we carrying on about how this person is going to look. Kristen said, I hope she looked good 90 times last episode. Now here we are here, and she's walking down the aisle, and he's like, oh, shh. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Does that mean, I tried to holler at her before? Oh, I know her from somewhere. Does that mean, oh, she's cute? Does that mean, dang, okay, I looked up. Okay, I feel a little better. She's what I was expecting. Like, what does that mean? Because, in my opinion, Shrek is already standing at the end of the aisle. And as this is going on, we hear his family saying, oh, she's beautiful. So I'm like, okay, they actually like Paige. They like the way she looks. I mean, my palms were sweating for her. I was just like, oh my gosh, please don't let them notice this wig ain't got no part. Just let her make it down the aisle and say the IDO'S so that everything can be everything. Lord, please don't let this man embarrass her. So she gets down the aisle, he's smiling, and then he actually says, she's beautiful. I was like, okay, whew, child, that was a close one, honey. They was weighing me out. So I was like, okay, I think that he's attracted to her. And then I noticed that it was his pastor that was officiating the wedding. So he's reading off things that Paige's loved ones have said about her, and all of her things are positive. She's God conscious. She's a loving person. She loves hard. She's sweet. She works hard. All of these are great things that you would want to have in a spouse. Then they get to Chris. Chris likes tailored suits. Chris likes suits that are tailored. Chris likes name brands. Chris likes brands that have names. Chris likes Gucci. Chris likes Louis. Chris likes Prada. Like what are you talking about? Is there anything else about you that's not superficial that we can hear right this moment? And then they start to say that he loves God, but I mean, dang, can we lead with that? Chris loves God. All right, now we have a foundation. Let's put another brick on the house. We got the foundation. Now here's another brick. Not he loves everything name brand, and that's all we have to say, because quiet as it's kept. I mean, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Let's just keep it real, okay? And that's what I think when I see Chris. Oink, oink. All right, let's move on. So when they were reading their vows, Chris' vows, they were very nice, and so were Paige's. And then at the end, when he got through officiating the wedding, he said, you may now kiss the bride. And so I thought that this was sweet. Now, he had me fooled. These are the first few minutes of this episode, okay? Don't y'all come for me in the comments. I didn't know no better, okay? So I was like, oh my gosh, Chris is redeeming himself. I spoke too prematurely. Maybe He is not what we thought he was. Because I had heard that Chris was not too happy about the way that he was coming off in these blogs and on these YouTube channels. And I just want to say this real quick before I get any further. This is for entertainment. This is what I would say if I was sitting in the house with y'all watching this show. Okay, y'all probably would be like, girl, do you need to have a comment for everything? Okay, can you shut up till the episode go off? No. Let's talk about it. Let's watch and discuss. That's what I like to do. So this is why this YouTube channel is perfect for me. And I just want to say this is purely entertainment. If you don't like the way you look, you should have not signed the contract. All right, let's continue. So, he's like, can I give you a kiss? And then she's like, yeah, you can give me a kiss, because she just looking at him and she's so happy, honey. And I'm like, she's so optimistic and so excited that she's now a wife. This is just not right, okay? It's just not right. And he was like, can I give you a kiss on the cheek, on the forehead, on the nose? I'm like, boy, just give her a kiss, because I'm tired of looking at you with that wide mouth. Just kiss her and let's move on, okay? So he gives her a kiss or whatever, and then people start clapping. And so they walk out, how they do, to go out and take their pictures and everything. So they go out and they're talking, and the first thing she said, and I just was like, oh, my heart just broke when I heard this, because he said, you look beautiful. And she said, I was wondering, I was thinking, like, does he even think I look attractive? Does he even find me attractive? And Paige, let me talk to you right here, because I know y'all look at these reviews. These reality television people, they watch YouTube just like everybody else. And I just want to say this to you, Paige, okay? You are beautiful. Your skin is milky, okay? Dark chocolate, beautiful. You have everything going for you. I just want to let you know, I want to instill in you that you are something special, okay? I do not want this to break your spirit. I don't want this to break your faith in God that he will send you the right person, because Chris ain't it, okay? I'm speaking directly to you. Chris is not it. So I just hope that in the future that if you do just so happen to come across this review and you see this cartoon lady talking, it's me. And I'm telling you right now, honey, please don't let Chris dictate what beauty is, because, honey, what he got going on, ain't nothing I would look at, and you shouldn't either. All right, moving right along. So we're in the back, they're talking, and then so she asked him what he does for a living. So this boy, child, he goes, well, I'm one of the youngest African-American owners of a particular brand in Atlanta. And she's like, oh, okay. No, not oh, okay. Because first of all, why you acting like you don't want to tell her what it is? Like, this is now your wife. So just tell her you own a Subway and you eat fresh. Like, why are you acting like you don't want to say? Just say that your franchise is Subway. Why are you sitting of a particular brand? Boy, shut up. Like, just shut up. Okay? Child. Okay. Then he asks her, and she's like, well, and he's like, and I'm about to close on my first property next week, so I do real estate. Honey, we all do real estate. Go up and down Instagram. Everybody do real estate, okay? Everybody got something going on. That's nothing special. So stop trying to act like you don't want to reveal like you just sitting on millions, okay? So then she says, oh, I'm a realtor, and I also have a property that I rent out. Yes, Paige. You better be his equal. You better go toe to toe, honey. Let him know, honey, I got a property as well, already rented, already closed on. And what else? And so what else is going on? Okay? And so then she looks at him. He looks at her and he asks her how many tattoos she has. And I think she said 3. And then she asks him, and then he's like, oh, I have this right here or whatever. And she asks how long has he had it. He said, I just recently got it. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, what made you get that? And so this person, child, I'm really trying to get better without calling these people names, because when I be watching this screen, y'all don't even want to hear y'all don't really want to hear what I'm calling them, okay? So this person says, Chris says, that it is a tattoo that him and his ex got. So she's looking like, okay. And then he proceeds to tell her that he was just recently with the ex and that they just broke up. Now, I told y'all in last review that, I think it was the first one, that in 3 months, they are still connected to each other. She's still playing on his phone. She's still calling, hanging up. She's still going by his mama house. All of that. Okay, and the fact that y'all have matching tattoos, boy, if you don't go on back and get this X and go sit down somewhere. So then she's like, okay, in her mind, she's like, okay, let's change the subject. Yeah, so I have a Yorkie. Do you like dogs? Paige was like, all right, that's enough about the X. Okay, do you like dogs or what? This boy says, my ex had a Yorkie. Boy, what in the... You know what? If you compare her and say one more thing about that ex, do not do that. I mean, the girl can't say nothing. I mean, the sky is blue. You know what? My ex thought the sky was blue. You know, we're on Married at First Sight. You know what? I wanted to marry her at first. Like, why are you even here? You just steady comparing this girl to the ex. I was like, okay, this right here is going to get on my nerves. So, okay, so they had that little conversation, and then she's like, well, he did say a few things about his ex, but it's not exactly a red flag. It's kind of like a yellow flag. And I'm like, girl, are you colorblind? It's a huge red flag, okay? It's red as the Red Sea, okay? It's a huge red flag that he is mentioning his ex. Not to mention the fact that he is not ready to be in a relationship, let alone a marriage. Honey, you are the rebound. Let us say rebound together. Everybody that's listening to this review, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Rebound. Okay, Paige? That is what you are. He is trying to get under another one to get over the other one. That's exactly what he is doing. We will revisit Chris and Paige in just a minute, honey. I need to calm down, child. Woo! Chris, child, you really bringing my pressure up. I don't like that. All right, so then we go to Haley and Jacob. Haley is getting ready, and she says, that she usually writes people off before she gets to know them. So this is going to be a different experience, and she's going to get to know them as they're going through this marriage. And, she's nervous. Of course, that makes absolute sense because, of course, you will be nervous. You're getting married to a complete stranger. Jacob doesn't seem too nervous. He's with his groomsmen, and, honey, they having full-on meals. I mean, I don't know if Jacob didn't think they was going to get a reception or what. I'm talking about they got the styrofoam plates. They eating greens and gravy and rice and steak. I'm like, y'all are really eating, okay? Like, y'all having a full-on meal before. I hope you swiggle a little of that Listerine before you get down that aisle because you have had a full meal, okay? Jacob is saying that he's, he doesn't seem too nervous, but then he makes this little corny joke. He's like, yeah, I'm 38. I'm the last man standing. I kind of want to take a seat. Boom, boom, boy, if you don't sit down with that, child, I'm not even going to tell y'all what kind of humor that is. But okay. So, he also is another one that's saying he wants attraction. I understand that men are visual creatures. I understand this. Women, we can do the whole Beauty and the Beast thing. It's all good to us because you could be ugly, you know what I'm saying? You could be Notorious B.I.G. if you want to. But if you treat us good, we can kind of look past that. We can look past the eye that's limp. We can look past the big stomach. We can look past all of that. But for a man, they normally want you to come already made, okay? I'm just saying, unless they're going to pay for that BBL, they want you to come all the way together. So he's sitting up here talking about, he wants the person to be attractive. And then he says that he wants a large nose. I usually like my women with larger noses. What in the snuffleupagus are you talking about? Why would you want a woman with a larger nose? But then I looked at his and I was like, okay, he wants a woman to match that schnauzer he got, okay? But y'all don't need too big of a nose. You ain't gonna be able to kiss, okay? Your lips are under your nose. So if your nose to nose and both your nose big, how you gonna kiss? Child. Ooh, I cracked my own self up, y'all. I'm crazy. I'm just saying, like, why would you want a woman with a big nose? Like, these requests, child. Let me tell you something, Lifetime. Y'all casted this for pure entertainment, honey. Y'all knew we were under quarantine. Y'all knew we needed something to get us out of this funk, and thank you so much. So he said he wanted his girl to have a little bit of a schnauzer, okay? And then, they're talking to him, and he asked the groomsmen, he says, what concerns do you guys have for me? And they're like, don't be you, okay? Don't hit her with the 80s jokes. Don't hit her with that stuff that you normally would say. We know you love the 80s, but bring it on up to 2020 because everybody's humor is not the same. So please don't do that. Haley's family is like, okay, they're smiling and they're happy that Haley is finally going to be walking down the aisle because, she's so used to being a bridesmaid and she's not used to being the bride. So she did say that herself. She's like, I'm so used to being a bridesmaid. I'm not used to being a bride. And of course, her friends are there, the ones that were not so supportive. But they seem to be supporting her today, which was a good thing. And they're all in the back and they're getting ready for Haley to go down. And when she comes down, Jacob is standing there looking just as dry. Okay? He looks so dry, honey. And so she coming down the aisle and her mom is over there smiling like, ooh, finally a bride. I'm like, yeah, honey, you happy to get her married off, honey. The mama and the daddy was smiling. They're like, ooh, finally, child. And we ain't have to pay for it either. Okay? So she comes on down the aisle and then Jacob is standing there looking at her like, her nose is too small. That's just what I was envisioning he was thinking in his mind. You know, if they put that little bubble over your head with those 3 dots, I feel like that's what he was thinking, that her nose was too small. So he was standing there looking so dry. And then they proceed to talk about, you know, Haley and everything that's good with Haley. And they said a lot of sweet things about her, plus her love for dogs, because Jacob had already said to his groomsmen, if she does not like dogs, then that is a deal breaker because he is not getting rid of his dogs. So the fact that she likes dogs, she adopts dogs, that was a plus. I'm like, okay, they got that in common. Okay, and so then they start to talk about Jacob, basically saying he's corny, he loves 80s jokes, Cyndi Lauper, large hair, and purple eyeshadow, cue Virginia. Okay, that's what he likes. All right, so then they're talking about Jacob, and then they go to the vows. Honey, I don't know if Jacob was just hooked on phonics or he really just can't read. Jacob said, "Dear Haley." Okay, wait a minute. Dear Haley. Okay. Sorry, I can't find my place. Dear Haley. Boy, you wrote it, didn't you? Or you typed it? Like, even if you got to come off the dome, don't just stand there fumbling with that paper. Say something. And I'm like, this is so awkward, child. We're gonna be here for another. See, this is why we got a 2-hour episode, because Jacob doesn't know what his vows actually say. Come on, Jacob, get it together. So he finally musters up the hooked on phonics, and then he goes ahead and reads his vows, and then she reads hers, and then, child, he was going in for a cheek kiss, and Haley was going in for a mouth kiss, and somehow they met in the middle, and it was the most awkward kiss I have ever seen in the history of reality television. I have seen some nasty kisses, from Flavor of Love all the way to Ready to Love, and this right here was awkward. Even though they had this awkward kiss, Haley was so optimistic, but there's like crickets in the background when they get to the back, honey. They opening up this champagne, and I mean, it was complete silence. So then he asked her these boring questions, asked her about her being a cook, and she's like, yeah, you know, I cook every now and again. She's like, what kind of cook are you? And he's like, well, I mostly eat steak and eggs. What in the green eggs and ham are you talking about? You only eat steak and eggs. Like, boy, you and this 4-year-old palate. He was like, well, I only eat steak and eggs. And she's like, steak and eggs every day for like every meal? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Child. Then he was about to tell us something. And he was like, I can't even remember. I'm like, so you need ginseng and you need a tutor. You can't read and you can't remember? Boy, you are 38 years old, and I really think you 58. Okay, but you saying you 38. They're not going to provide no documents, okay? They already going off on people because we say too much about y'all. So, okay, y'all too awkward for me. Even the picture taking is awkward. Everything is just awkward. Okay, then we go back over to Chris and Paige. Chris is giving Paige compliments, but it's kind of like surface, you know. And Paige is still being optimistic, honey. She's talking about, we have years to explore. Girl, are you present? Y'all don't have years. I don't even think y'all got to the next episode. Only reason why I think y'all got episode after episode is because Chris is good TV. Okay? Y'all got to the end of this season. Let me just say that. Because y'all ain't lasting outside of that. I'm just saying. So stop saying y'all got years to get to know each other and all that. That's just, child. Okay, child. Ooh, I'm so tired, Lord. They make me so tired. I just don't understand. Okay. Jacob, of course, very awkward. Very, very awkward. Chris, then we go back to Chris and Paige. Chris is telling Paige about his homelessness and how he rented a car. And he was basically living in it. Paige wants to know more about the ex. She's like, you were homeless. Okay. And what about the ex? So he starts telling her about the ex, and he says that they had trust issues between the two of them. She didn't trust him, and he didn't trust her. Of course, I definitely wouldn't trust you, because the way you come off, even in this setting, Yeah, you can't be trusted. So then he starts asking her all these questions. And these questions were all over the place, honey. He asked the girl if she was a virgin. Why would you assume she's a virgin? Well, she ain't pretty enough to have busted wide open, okay? She ain't pretty enough to have popped it for pimp. What are you talking about? Why would you ask her if she even was like, well, why would you ask me if I'm a virgin? He's like, well, I'm just asking. No, you know why you asking, okay? You're trying to be funny. You're trying to act like this girl is not attractive enough to have had sex. That was my take on it. That's my opinion. And y'all can tell me down in the comments what y'all think he meant by asking this girl if she's a virgin. Boy, get out of here. Then he starts asking about her sex drive. And she was like, well, I don't want to answer that. And he's like, well, I answered every question that you asked me. So Paige, I guess she's trying to start the submissive thing a little early, honey. So she was just like, well, I mean, if I get to know you and you make me feel comfortable, then of course my sex drive is good. Then he asks her, are you on contraceptives? And she was like, no. And I'm thinking, don't ask Paige that, honey. She already told us in episode 1 she don't even use condoms. So of course she ain't on no contraceptive. Honey, she ain't got a patch, a pill, one of them little things you put on insert. She don't have none of that. She is ready. Okay? Whatever you ready for, she ready for. I'm just saying. Chris dad gives a speech, and he talks about Chris being an entrepreneur at a young age, even at 9, and he's even saying, I'm ready for grandkids. So basically, Paige is a walking sack of ovaries. They are ready to get the baby making factory going. So that lets me know that if there is an alleged baby, they will accept that baby with open arms, and I can almost probably guarantee you that Chris is going to be right back with that ex, and she going to be pushing out those 7 kids, because y'all just wait till I get further in this review, child. Woo! So Vincent is talking to Bree's dad. We're going over back to Vincent and Brianna. He seems to lighten up a little bit after he talks to Vincent. Vincent gives him a few compliments. You know, he pours on the charm a little bit. And then he said that the fact that he's talking to him, he feels a little bit more comforted, and that if he ever needs anything or he just wants to talk, that he can come and talk to him. I had almost forgot about them, child. I was so enthralled with all things Chris, Haley. I thought Haley and Jacob wasn't going to give me nothing, but they gave me something. So I kind of forgot about Brianna and Vincent, okay? So then, they're talking, and then Brianna's talking to her friend, and the friend was like, girl, are you going to take his last name? And she's like, yeah. And the friend was like, okay, girl, I mean, now or later? And she's like, I mean, probably now. And I was like, oh, okay, so she is all in, honey. Virginia seems like she's sobering up just a bit, but I don't think it's all the way, And then, of course, Eric talks to Virginia's family and friends and just let them know that he'll be taking care of her. He's there for her. Basically, he's the adult in the relationship, and he's just letting them know that. And I don't know if Virginia is still drunk or not. Maybe she's sobering up just a bit. We will soon find out. So now we're back to Paige and Chris. Chris' dad is so pleased, honey. He thinks that Paige is beautiful. He thinks she's pretty. He thinks she's accomplished. And then she asked the mother and the father, well, what advice do you have for me? And the mom was like, well, I don't want you guys to go months and days and weeks being mad at each other. Just tell him what it is you're mad about, and then you guys can talk through it. I was like, okay, that's sound advice. I can even use that. Okay, let me put that in my pocket, because I'll give a person a silent treatment in a minute, honey. Act like you weren't even born. Y'all can get my sign down in the comments. I will act like you're not alive if we're upset at each other. Okay. Then the daddy basically was just saying bust down Tatiana, because he was like, when Chris get home after a long day of work, you basically need to be laying there spread eagle, ready to serve him, because that's what he's going to need when he gets home every day is sex. And I was like, why are you saying that? He didn't say it like I'm saying it, but he might as well have said it like that. And Paige was looking at him like, what? I mean, even she was confused, because she was looking at him like, I know you're not saying that I need to just only have sex with him. And I'm like, okay, this daddy, baby. All right. The daddy is just as special as the son. Chris is over there talking to Paige's friends, and then he tells them that he was engaged earlier that month. And he said, I'm just going through it. And they're like, well, are you over it? And he's like, yeah, it was a healing process in 3 months. Unless I dated you for a week or less, I ain't getting over nothing in no 3 months. If I loved you and I was engaged to you and I got a matching tattoo with you, 3 months, I'm not over it yet. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about if I made the right choice. Did he make the right choice? Did we try everything we could try? You are not over it in 3 months. So please stop saying that. And so then he tells the friend. So then the friend was like, well, I'm not going to write him off completely. I'm like, okay, you and Paige are definitely friends. Write him all the way off. Okay, what are you talking about? He just told you that he just got out of a relationship, an engagement. So then he says, on paper, we look perfect together. We're the perfect match, so I can see why they put us together. And then he goes, and so they're talking up their friend or whatever, and he's like, I never dated a woman like her. She's a different kind of woman. And they're like, yeah, what do you mean different? And he's like, me and her, we're kind of on the same page. And so the friend is like, oh yeah, somebody on your level. Then he proceeds to say, I mean, the body is definitely there. But if y'all notice, he ain't say nothing about that face, and he ain't say nothing about that wig, and he kept looking at that wig when they were in that ceremony too. I told y'all that stylist didn't get that wig right. He kept glancing up at that wig. I'm like, if they pan to that wig one more time, or his eyes going up to that wig, I'm gonna lose my mind. So he was like, she's just different. And then so they were like, yeah, she's definitely a trophy wife. And he's like, she's not a trophy wife. Child, listen to me. When he says she's not a trophy wife, I had to go pour myself a glass of wine, and I don't be drinking, okay? I have it in the house to seem like an adult, but I don't drink it. But when that boy said she is not a trophy wife, I was like, I could fight him. He better be glad. Honey, she got the wrong friends, because they would have seen a whole different episode. This would have been an episode of Bad Girls Club, because I would have lost my whole mind. How dare you stand here and tell me in my face that my friend is not a trophy? Trophy wife, in my mind, I was thinking he was saying she's not attractive enough to be a trophy wife. That is what I got from that sentence. So her friends are sitting there looking dumbfounded, like they don't know what is going on. And then he says, she's the woman I need, but not necessarily the woman I want. He's saying all this to her friends. So then they pan to him standing by himself, and then he goes, I'm just not 100% attracted to my wife. Mic drop. I knew it. I knew it. He definitely wants an Instagram model. He wants somebody who has had their BBL and their veneers and their lace front laid down. He wants one of those, okay? He wants something that he sees on Instagram every day. Boy, you're going to have to leave with your wallet if you want one of them, because ain't nobody going to look at you with that personality and those looks unless you tell them you got 2 pennies to rub together, because you are a jerk, okay? The fact that you even said that, it's nothing different about her. And then he just keeps saying, she's just different. What is different about her? Because I saw a picture of your ex. What is so different about Paige besides that wig? If we get her a new wig, will she still be different? Okay? Like, I don't understand what's different about her. And he just kept repeating it over and over and over. I was like, okay, whatever, child. Then they pan over to Vincent. And, honey, Vincent was surrounded by them bridesmaids. Honey, they were surrounding him like he was Chris Brown. Child, they was all surrounding him, and he in the middle of them in that circle. And they just looking up at him. Oh, Vincent. And then what else? And then what else? I'm like, child, baby, Vincent getting his brownie points over there, okay? They go over to Ryan and Clara real quick. We can just skip them, child, because wasn't nothing popping really over there. Virginia and Eric, they keep getting asked whether or not they're going to have sex on the honeymoon. Virginia, probably, or maybe not. Honey, she don't know. I'm just hoping she knows she's married, okay? Chris is acting like it's his choice to have sex. He keeps saying, well, I mean, if I find something attractive, I might have sex with her tonight. Chris, it is not your choice. And if you make it your choice without her consent, we all know what that is. So please stop that. It's not your choice whether or not you are going to have sex with her or not. It will be a mutual decision. Ugh. Oh, dingbat. Talking about, well, I got to make sure. I mean, I might want to have sex with her, but I don't know. Okay, boy, whatever. Then you keep on saying the girl different every 5 minutes. Buddy, you're different. How about that? You're very different. If I saw you on the street and I saw one of your friends, I'd say, oh, look at him. He's different. Okay? Stop calling that girl different. I don't even like the word different no more, because you done tainted it. But I keep saying it every 5 minutes about Paige. I don't even like the word no more. Anyway, the friends, he ain't said enough to work so hard, honey. The friends, they over there, they all the way here for it, honey. They so impressed by the fact that he said she was his wife, because Chris came over to her while she was talking to them. He was like, y'all had all y'all life to talk to her, and now I need to talk to her. And they were like, well, what is she? And he was like, my wife. And they're like, and the friend is like, well, he keep winning me over ever so often. He does something. What has he done? What has he done to win you over besides call her his wife? Technically, as he would say, on paper, that's what she is, his wife. Stop being so easily impressed. Oh, and then Paige was like, he's charismatic. No, he has on a loud suit. No, it's charismatic is not. Charismatic is someone who treats you with respect, but they throw in a little razzle dazzle. Vincent is charismatic. Chris is a jerk. Okay? There's a total difference. Then, they're showing everybody going to their hotel rooms. They're leaving. Everybody's blowing bubbles. Chris and Paige go into the room, and he's helping her take her dress off. I wouldn't let him touch me, okay? And then we see Brianna and Vincent. Brianna has her cute little two-piece nightset on, and they're looking out the window. They're talking a little bit. Clara, honey, she ended up taking down that bird's nest, and it's taking her 45 minutes. Ryan is laying in the bed looking like he about to get ready to go play basketball. I'm like, oh, you uncomfortable, honey. You ain't even ready for sleep. You got a full ensemble, a full t-shirt on. He ready to go to sleep, okay? She comes out with her cute little ponytail. She gets in the bed. They talk a little bit. And then the producers ask Haley when they pan over to her, so what are your plans tonight? And she's like, well, it's been a pretty long day. Translation, I'm finna go to bed. That's what I'm finna do. I ain't touching Jacob, and he better not touch me. That's exactly what Haley wants to say. Haley, I'm going to say it for you. Don't touch me, Jacob. She get in the bed with him, his shirt all the way off. Ugh, put that shirt on. Okay, because I don't even really just know you like that yet. And, I'm talking about Ryan got his full shirt on. I need a Ryan shirt. Put your shirt on. You don't need your shirt off right now because we don't even know each other. And I know Haley was thinking, can we sleep with the lights on? Because Jacob is giving me real creepster, okay? Let's just sleep with I'm uncomfortable even looking at it. Let's just sleep with the lights on, child. Then we go to Virginia. She is in the bed with Eric, and they're talking, and they look cute together. When I saw them in the bed and talking, I'm like, okay, Virginia, when you sober up, I think y'all might be cute. I think it could be something. If he could just keep you off the liquor and you could loosen him up just a little bit, y'all might be all right. It seemed like it could be something. So they talk, and then they start showing clips of next week's episode. So that is the end of my review for this week's episode. But what I want to say about next week's episode, that it seems good, honey. It seems like it's going to get to popping off. Chris's mouth going to get to running, and probably writing him some checks that his behind can't cash, but we shall see. And then it looks like Eric piping up a little bit. I'm like, come on, Eric, let him know. Let him use you. Okay, it seemed like Eric got a little something. He's saying it with his chest a little bit. Okay, so we will see that. But I'm hoping that Lifetime don't play in our face and go ahead and get to the good stuff in the first few minutes of the episode so that it keeps us engaged and not us waiting around for the last 5 minutes so that it can drag us on to the next episode. Because pretty soon, I'm going to be like, you know what, y'all? Let's just do it live. Let's just do it live, and we'll talk about it as we go. Or I'm just going to tweet y'all because y'all playing with me. Lifetime, let's get to it, okay? So that is pretty much all I have to say. And my review on this is it was a pretty good episode. I rate it a 7.5. I feel like if you haven't seen it, then you should, because maybe my commentary was a little too jokey for you, and maybe you didn't catch some of the things. But the gist of it is Haley and Jacob are awkward. Virginia is still a little bit tipsy. Chris is a superficial jerk. Paige thinks God planted her there, but God would never put you in a situation with a man like Chris. And Bree and Vincent, they seem like they're going to find their footing. And again, I say they may be the Amani and Woody of this episode. There's a formula to these reality TV shows, and there always has to be one couple we can vibe with. So I think it may be them. And Clara and Ryan, hopefully Clara don't talk through every episode, okay? Hopefully we can get a moment of silence. Well, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed this review. I love hanging out with you guys. I love to read your comments. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe. Please share my channel with someone else. I am trying to grow. I love you all for watching. Thank you for listening to all my craziness. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.